Hey, magicians are assholes.
Whoa.
It is Monday, September 4th, 4:20 p.m. This is the 420 report. Here I am, jer-dog, your obnoxious, creepy uncle that your mother constantly insults, yet deep down is probably a fucking blast to hang out with. While the audience builds, I have some show dates to promote here. This Saturday, I will be going to Rio, Wisconsin for my one-man show at the old theater. And then I travel all the way back home to my stomping grounds right here in central Iowa. Sunday, September 10th, I'll be in Ankeny, Iowa at the Whiskey House and Bourbon Grill, I think is what it's called. Anyway, I'll put all the information in the comments. People are starting to join in right now, dude. Nathan Tricky Allen is on the phone line. And he is going to be performing, speaking of creepy, obnoxious uncles, he will be at Martini's on Main this Saturday night in Quincy, Illinois. So I wanted to invite him on here and just spread the word about that. Where are my Illinois peeps? Are you out there? Nathan, what's going on, man?
Oh, I'm outside on my roof. Is that a chainsaw you can hear? Is that what you were asking about?
Yeah, I couldn't tell if that was a chainsaw or your baby crying.
I think it's a chainsaw. I should check. Nope, it's a chainsaw. Yes, sorry about that.
So Nathan and I, we go around the country. We do the Dirty Jokes and Magic Trick show together. The rumors are that show is dead and buried just because we took a summer hiatus. The last time we did a show was June in Springfield, Illinois, and I thought that went pretty good. We had one obnoxious heckler, George.
Yeah, it's not dead. I don't know about you, but I've been busy. I had two different college lecturing gigs this year, so it's been little weird new learning experiences for me.
What are those college lecturing gigs?
Well, one of them was at Luther College, like a multi-day thing. It was an actual class about misdirection and how it can be applied to societal interactions and religion and scams and things like that. So I was kind of the specialist they brought in to hang out with the kids for a while. And then there was another one at the University of Minnesota School of Architecture, and it was a solid week all about this group they were grad students, about how to incorporate magic and illusion principles into building design to screw with people or influence the way they behaved in that building. It was a lot of fun. I was the dumbest kid there. It was amazing.
What do they want to bring? What they want to design like Willy Wonka buildings or something? Like just
some of them turned into that. Yeah. It was crazy.
I didn't realize that was a thing for you. Are you now doing college lectures?
Not regularly, but the opportunity arises. Like, well, I'm not even a college graduate. I'm being asked to do this. Hell yeah, I'm gonna take it.
Right, that's interesting. How did they come across you then, of all people?
A friend of a friend who's a professor.
All right. Well, I always take the summer off anyway. I don't take it off. I don't want to say off, but the gigs in the summertime are very eclectic. You do your fairs and festivals. Like a lot of times I'll get booked to host a music festival that goes on all day long outdoors somewhere. I also do the Comedy Wild West show. I did the Pirate show. I didn't do those this summer. You have a lot of weird gigs that you do in the summertime. What's one of the weirdest gigs you ever did? Because I know you come across a lot of that shit as a magician. Magicians take those kinds of weird fucking gigs like Post-Proms and the county fairs and all those types of venues or audiences where your standard run-of-the-mill blue-collar, the shirt's falling off Henry dog. Now he's got to go bare-chested.
Is he naked?
Just from the waist up. I'll make sure that fucker wears pants. What's the weirdest gig you ever had, dude?
Way to spring that on me, I don't know. Are we including like the shit that I was doing 15 years ago, like birthday parties and libraries?
Yeah, sure.
All that stuff. Man, I don't know. They're all weird. I mean, to me, like going into an elementary school to just entertain kids without any educational purpose behind it is weird. Like looking back, like I was happy to take those gigs and I did a lot of them, but why would you hire a magician and blow taxpayer money on that? It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, when you do post-proms, though, they tell you that it's okay to do the content that you have advertised on your website, but then afterwards they have meltdowns about it. There's always like one person that complains. To me, that's like weirder than, say, a situation where it's just maybe a little bit different than your average performance venue. You know, if you do a show like in somebody's fucking driveway, but they all love it, you walk away feeling pretty good. But if you do a show like in an auditorium where there's a theater and there's a whole bunch of people there and they're cheering your name, but then afterwards someone complains because they didn't like that you used a condom as a fucking prop, to me, that's what's weird. Or what do you have to say about that?
Yeah, you're exactly right. When I was doing post-proms, and I've kind of sworn them off now, I'll still do one or two a year if they're like super cool and totally get it. But when I was doing them, I would get like one or two of those complaints every season, and I was like, it's just not worth it. Like I had one parent lecture me because I had a piercing and tattoos, and guys shouldn't have piercings. I showed up to one school where one of the chaperones said, well, I heard last week at whatever school in Wisconsin that you took down your pants. I'm like, no, I mean, I would have been arrested for that. What are you talking about? I had, there was a guest of one of the proms, this was years ago, wrote a letter demanding an apology to the post-prom committee. And she wasn't even a student at that school. She was just a guest. She was a homeschooled student, for what that's worth.
Did you write the letter? She
was appalled, her words, appalled by the sexual undertones of my act.
Yeah.
And I'm reading this letter thinking, bitch, they're overtones. They're not undertones at all. What are you talking about?
They're explicit.
But it's not like, I mean, I'm not too crazy at those gigs. It's just, I treat it the same as like a company party.
Yeah.
Which are usually pretty cool. You know, just don't say fuck and have fun.
Right. Yeah. They can handle adult subject matter. They just don't want it to be gratuitously offensive. You know, I do have a confession to make though, man.
Yeah.
Because magicians are assholes. You're like, there's like out of 100 magicians you put in a room, 0.5 of them will be cool.
And the rest of them are all going to be in arguments with each other.
Yeah, trying to woo each other, trying to show each other like the latest card trick. I don't know. I try not to spend much time around them, but every magician I've ever met, with the exception of maybe 2, has been like okay to hang out with. And I use that term okay loosely. Like even you, dude, you go on the fucking road. The shows are a lot of fun, but shit, after spending about 3 hours in the car with you, I want to strangle your ass. Why are magicians so goddamn dorky and lame and gay?
I just call it gay. That's interesting. There seems like there's a lot of like a big population of gay people who are magicians. I don't know what that's all about.
I don't mean gay as in I mean gay as in dorky or lame.
Well, I meant gay as in homosexual.
Why? I don't understand, man. They all wear the same goddamn outfit, the pleated jeans or like the super crazy frilly frock coat. They all like do a lot of puns for their comedy. It's very cornball.
The playing card tie, the sparkly vest.
Maybe I just haven't seen enough cool magicians. Where can I find more cool, fun magicians? I fucking love magic. I am very much fascinated by sleight of hand. I tried to do it when I was coming up. That was one of the things I thought that I would go into, is like some sleight of hand, sort of like strolling street magician kind of thing. I was very interested in being able to do that. I sucked at it. You know, maybe it's because I'm too cool. I don't know. But what is the common denominator that makes 99.5 magicians out of 100 weirdos to hang out with?
Well, I think it's the people that get, I think most pre-adolescent males get interested in magic at some point, but I think most of them lose that interest when they hit puberty, you know, because they discover sports and girls and friends.
Right.
But I think the dorks among us kind of cling to that magic shit because it's kind of our way of fitting in, of being accepted, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like you're still playing with your toys.
Yeah, and those people that are still playing with their toys, the most damaged among us go on to have jobs out of it.
So the more fucked up you are growing up playing with your toy magic kit, probably the more successful you'll be when you actually start doing it professionally.
Exactly. Look at David Copperfield and Chris Angel.
Earlier, we got some questions from some of the followers. Tamsin Jean Knutson said, I think a good question to ask this dude would be, has a magic trick ever not gone the way you wanted because of drinking? And I already know the answer to that, but I want to hear what Nathan has to say.
I've had sex not go the way I wanted because of drinking. But I can't think, I mean, I've had tricks go wrong. But that's just sheer stupid mistakes, just my own stupidity.
Yeah.
I can't think of a point, an actual example where, well, I could have pulled that off if not for those Budweisers. I can't. Did you have one in mind? What
about that Des Moines gig with the Fort Dodge people, where you fell through the curtains?
That wasn't a trick. That was a bad day.
That trick definitely went wrong. Pick a clone.
I finished the trick.
You start doing that Heimlich trick on you, and then you fell backwards through the fucking curtains.
Yeah. I thought the wall was right there, but it was like a banquet hall.
Mm-hmm.
And there was like a 3-foot gap between where the stage ended, and then there was curtains right behind it.
Yeah.
And then the actual wall, and I went to lean back. If you watch the video, it's on my YouTube. You'll see me lean back, and you can see in my eyes at the moment where it's like, fuck.
Yeah,
there was really no coming back from it, so I just went with it.
And then what about how many shots can you make disappear?
Not many. I'm not a shot guy. I can have a steady buzz for months on end, but if I start doing shots, that's Magic Boy has to go night-night.
That's it for you. You can't handle any shots, can you? You always ask for the sugary stuff.
Yeah, I'm not good at swallowing big mouth loads of bitter tasting stuff.
Yeah, Lou Deck just joined in. He says, make the beer disappear.
Yeah.
And then he said, who is your most influential magic guy and why?
Influential magic guys. Comedy magic guys, probably the Mount Rushmore for me, the Amazing Jonathan, Matt King, Michael Finney, Jeff Hobson, Dana Daniels, the guys that have all been out there and had worked successfully in comedy clubs.
The Penn and Teller?
Penn and Teller, for sure, yeah.
Are they a magic act?
I think so.
They claim not to be.
Himself a juggler. Teller's a very brilliant magician, though. It seems like his style is almost lost. His skill is lost on the style they've chosen.
Because I heard Penn Jillette in an interview, and he said somebody asked him what time the magic act was going to be that night, and he says, "What magic act? I'm with the Penn and Teller show."
Yeah, they made a real concerted effort to publicize, like when they first did their off-Broadway shows. They would refuse to let it be publicized as a magic show in any way. They just want a whole bunch of screaming stupid kids to show up. Kind of like a babysitter type event.
Yeah, that's pretty much the same idea.
Exactly.
That's the exact same idea behind the Dirty Jokes and Magic Trick shows. We want to put together a magic comedy show that is for adults only. Whether it's actually dirty jokes or not, it's hard to say. I mean, it's like we talked about earlier. You go to one place, they're like, oh, I didn't like the sexual undertones. You go to another place, you're like, you didn't push the envelope hard enough. All we want to do is make sure that fucking kids don't show up. Because this is going to be adult humor. Whether we curse or not, doesn't really matter. They're not going to get most of the subject matter. And even if they do, how many times these fucking kids run around and they're just a pain in the ass and they're distracting. They're not good audience members. If you're doing the county fair show or you're doing the amusement park shows, yeah, it's all right because those types of shows are geared for kids. But how long can they fucking last? They go maybe 20 minutes tops. We like to do these 3-hour damn near rock concert type shows. And I want a crazy, rowdy fucking crowd in there. So we call it the Dirty Jokes and Magic Trick Show.
Yeah. Plus, if there's kids there, even if their parents are cool with it, the other people are going to be real weirded out that, you know, they're laughing at a dick joke. Well, a child is sitting 4 feet away from them, and it's going to tense up the whole room.
Yeah, they're like, ooh, oh, is he looking? Oh, are their parents approving? Oh, it's so weird. And people drink less. They all try to be responsible, look like a good role model for the children. Why do so many fucking magicians go for that? It's like they all do the clean cornball. Are there any other rated R or even envelope pushing magicians out there? I guess I've seen some of them, but why aren't they more popular?
Probably because it's tough to do well. I mean, there's Amazing Jonathan, but he was knocking on death's door a couple of years ago. They gave him like 6 months or a year to live. The door was locked, so he turned around and started working comedy clubs again. But other than that, I mean, he's mostly retired, but he's not in good shape, I guess. So that's one. And I figure as soon as he's gone, I think that makes his tax fair game, doesn't it?
I don't know, man. That's like, oh, now that Sam Kinison is gone, all his material is up for grabs.
Yeah.
I think there are some comedians that fucking think that, though.
What's that?
There are some comedians that think that shit, though. That the comic is dead and gone, so, they can start lifting bits.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, they're not famous. They're just, they're the road hacks.
Yeah.
I gotta imagine there's a lot of...
that kind of integrity. We just steal shit, like, from the same room that we're in with somebody.
Yeah, then you go and do it the very next week.
Yeah.
Most of the magicians I've seen, they don't even write their own crap. It's like it's the script that came in the fucking box that they got at the mall.
Right, which is why a lot of the better people who are selling content these days for magicians don't include a script. They're like, make it up your own, or here's what I do, but don't use that. They don't lay out the scripts like they used to back in the day.
It's kind of a weird. It's so weird because it's a lot like stand up, where it's it's just one person on stage. They create the content. They create the jokes. What sometimes you have an assistant or a crew of choreographed dancers and whatnot, but for the most part, magicians are individual performers. Would you agree?
Yeah, and they're promoted as it's the David Copperfield show,
right? So just like stand up,
plus 30 other people show, yeah.
But it's sort of like a different. There's sort of like a different element when it comes to the way magic acts are handled. They're a lot more self-promotional. They seem to be they're a lot more theatrical. They seem to like not really give a shit about originality and more about what just works for the trick. But I think that really the famous ones like Penn and Teller and David Copperfield, like you mentioned, those guys they get big because they're original. But they also concentrate on all that promotional stuff as well to make their get the hype going. And that just seems to fit really well for magic. Even with the show that we do, the fact that we attach a magician to a comedy show, it just adds that much more hype to it and gets people more excited to come see it, not really knowing what to expect. And then we get there.
I don't understand that at all, because even being a magician, like if I were in a town and there were a magician playing in one venue, and then across the street there was a comedy show, I'm going to the damn comedy show. Well, we ran into that when we were in Hollywood. We had a couple of opportunities come up, like we can go to the Comedy Store and hang out backstage, or we've got the standing invitation to go to the Magic Castle,
right,
20 miles down the road or whatever. And I'm all like, I'm going to go to the Comedy Store. You're all like, Magic Castle's
Right, because that was a for sure thing, and I was pretty interested in that. But the Comedy Store was a good choice. That was a good fucking time that night.
Yeah, that was wild.
And I can't wait to get back there, man. Next time we'll have to check in with Lou Deck when we're in town, because he always watches us on the 420 Report. I think he's watching right now. He's the one that posed that question about who the influences are. I really like reading about Harry Houdini. And the reason I like reading about Harry Houdini is you'll very quickly discover that he was a lot less about the magic and the illusions and a lot more interested in what it takes to put butts in seats. And that's what I found as fascinating.
He was P.T. Barnum.
Yeah. And a lot of that stuff you can translate into modern day.
For sure, yeah.
All right, man. My mind is starting to blank. Let's go into the comments. Have you ever told how a trick is done?
Yeah. If I drink enough, for sure, I'll get mouthy as fuck. But there are some videos on my website, maniacalmagic.com, where I actually teach different little simple but cool tricks and pranks and scams that you can do to screw with your friends. So if you head over there, you can, I'll totally show you how a trick is done. When I was in high school, I had to show this friend of a friend, acquaintance. We spent a lot of time together because we were always at this mutual friend's place. And he was raised like super religious, like I don't know what sect of Christianity he was, but he was always like real weird around me. And I finally found out that he thought when I made the girl from the audience float in the air, put the hoop around her and shit, he thought that was real. He thought that was like demonic shit. And I had to calm his ass down.
You're a demon.
My apartment.
He's a demon.
But I showed him the unit of the equipment that was used to do that, and you could just see this wash over his face of realization, like everything I know is a lie, kind of thing. I mean, he got like real into it, real psyched out about it. It was kind of fun to watch. What were you saying? Sorry.
No, that would have been great. Like, I would think it would have been funny if he was like, then he was really pissed off that you weren't a demon, that it wasn't real magic. Like, first he's all upset because you're a demon. And then he gets all upset because really it's just contraptions and tools and gimmicks that you use to make it.
Man, I thought I knew a demon. This sucks.
I thought I finally met one. So this Saturday, Quincy, Illinois, Martinis on Main. It's going to be Nathan Allen with the opening act, Dave Lasso, who is fucking hilarious. There's going to be two shows, 7:30 and 10:30. No, 7 and 10. Whatever it is.
7 and 10.
7 and 10.
Gives me enough time to reset my props.
Quincy, Illinois. This Saturday night, Martinis on Main. I'll put all the information in the show post and all that shit in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you, Lou Deck, for your comments. He says, Don Barnhart, innovator of Battle Comics of USO Tour, just sent out 4 close-up magic guys to do the Quicker Than I tours. Just did Kuwait, Iraq, and Afghanistan and killed. What do you think about that, Nathan? Would you ever go overseas? Would you ever go to entertain the troops? Would you go right in the middle of the fucking war zone?
Absolutely. Those videos are going to be YouTube gold, man.
Would they?
I'll never do that.
Would you be allowed to do that? Go over there and videotape shit right there in the war zone? Unless, you don't have your press badge.
Just get a little mouthy about where I am and what's going on. Who got in trouble for that? Was that Geraldo?
I don't know. Probably. Maybe. I'd have to look into it. All right, cool, man. Thank you, Lou Deck, for your comments. Thank you, Uncle Russ. As always, who else joined in? Everybody that watched today on the 420 Report. Appreciate it. Nathan, thanks for calling in. If you guys are in Illinois, all my Illinois peeps, head to Quincy this Saturday night to Martinis on Main. Check out Nathan Allen, the Maniac of Magic, Nathan Tricky Allen. He's going to be doing a show with opening act Dave Lasso. So that's it for today of the 420 Report. I'll be back tomorrow, 4:20 p.m. or as close as possible. Hit the share button, hit the like button, spread the love. Thanks, guys. See you tomorrow, 4:20 p.m.